Hello, fellow Aquarians. Welcome to your monthly reading for November 2017. So this will be a general reading based on the 12 houses of astrology. So Aquarius, November 2017. Okay, we've got a lot of major arcana here. So first off, I'm going to go off by describing the layout. So the top row is external factors, and lower row is internal. So 12th house is of a kind of a general unconscious feeling or situation or what have you that wants to come out for this month. So we have the 8 of Cups here, so this is a sense of moving on that's wanting to surface and really come out. So the first house is of idea of self, and we have Ace of Wands here, so this is passion, raw passion, and power. So across from this first house we have the 7th house of relationships, so this is the King of Wands in reverse. So this could be a man, it could be romantic in nature perhaps. If it is, this king, you have probably already learned, is very manipulative and holds some anger. If not, then this could be just a general sense of not knowing how to relate to someone who's very manipulative and very brash and quick and reactive, not in a good way either. So second house of internal values and security. In a materialistic sense, we have 3 of Swords, so there's a sense of betrayal here, self-betrayal possibly. Though I don't believe that's really what it is, or actually it could. So 3 of Swords is of betrayal and pain. Now across from that 3 of Swords we have the World. So the World is a very whole card, and the 8th house is associated with transformation. So really the world is there for your taking, and you just have to grab it. That's kind of what it's saying to me. And with the 3 of Swords here, I think it would be good to kind of explore what you want, and what would bring that transformation for you. Because there's pain here, and it's kind of sitting there. It could be with the self, and we need to experience more of ourselves through accepting the wholesomeness of the world and the wholesomeness in its imperfection around us. Now, 3rd house is of the environment, perceptions of that environment, and how we communicate with it. And the High Priestess being here, we could be kind of holding back from saying something, and I think this has to do with communication. With someone, I'm thinking kind of holding back how we actually feel. It's a distance, and it's for, I think, a good reason though. Now across from the 3rd house we have 9th house of death. Now this is actually associated with Scorpio. This rules Scorpio, and the world being there as well. So it's kind of what it's saying to me is communicate what you want. Now, this death card is an inevitable end. Sorry. So this ending was coming, and it's been there, and it's for a good reason. Now, Scorpio and death kind of reminds me of the caterpillar transforming to the butterfly. So the caterpillar dying is significant because it needs to die and metamorphosize into a butterfly. It needs to metamorphosize so it can become a butterfly. And this is kind of what's happening. This moving on needs to happen because there's something waiting for you out there, and leaving it is very beneficial. Even though it is painful, because the 8th house is of pain, there's a lot to be gained from that pain. Now, the 4th house, we have the star. 4th house is of security, and the star here. This is the star. This is the card of Aquarius. So this is of hopes and dreams, and again, it's going back to that same thing. Our hopes and dreams bring a lot of security and transformation, because when we explore our desires and our hopes, it brings a lot of pain from failed expectations, but bringing ourselves back to what we really want will bring a lot of security in the end. Because if we continue and we're determined to find that security and that happiness, then it will come back and it will be revived. And even though you may fail, it will ultimately lead you to where you want to be. Now, across from that, we have the 10th house, and 10th house is kind of it's work related, but it can also mean how we're perceived on a public stage. And we have the 6 of Cups here. So upright, this is just like a light nostalgic feeling for something, a memory. Now, upright, this is kind of an attachment to an idea of the past. Now, if this is a person, I think you've kind of made it aware that's how you feel, and maybe it's not being reciprocated. It could be rejection. And that's totally fine. Rejection's normal. If it's not, then maybe we're looking back to the good times, quote unquote, when the future does hold promising things, even though there's pain, and we want that same security again. The star, I think this is really kind of standing out. It's our dreams. Focus on what we hope for and what we want. Not being too rash, and I think you know that already. You're aware of the pain that comes with holding on to something so tightly and then having it ripped away from you. It's very painful already, and you know that. So you're learning to distance yourself from hope, I think. And if that's not you, you might feel slighted by the universe, even in some sense. And that could lead us here to our 5th house. So the Empress here in reverse. So this is of indecision. I think indecision for what we want and what will even bring us a sense of abundance. And it's tough to express that uncertainty of where to go, of what to do, But even saying that is a huge first step. Even with most things in life, that's normal to be lost. None of us really are given a map, of course. Now, across from the 5th house, we have 11th house, our house, Aquarius. Of social groups. Now, 4 of Wands is a celebration, and I think on a group level, now you might feel a certain way, I think, about whatever the situation is, but I think the people around you are really happy for what you've done. even though it's brought pain and betrayal to yourself. I think a lot of people saw really what it was doing to you, and I think they're happy for you, whoever this might be, probably family or friends or even possibly workmates. They know where you're at, and they can see you, and that's really good, because having people who support you around you is really good. Now, next is the 6th house, and that's of work, routines, kind of like a regimen. It can also be health. Now, we have the sun in reverse, so to me that kind of speaks of unhappiness or unfulfilled hopes, like it was a partially filled hope, kind of not really what we were fully expecting. So that could be depressive in nature, or it could even be kind of like an okay feeling. You know, it's like it's kind of like, I'm okay with this for the most part. That's not really what we fully wanted, but that's okay. Even that can be fine in the interim, while you really try to dig into yourself and understand what you really want to do. Now across from this brings us to the 12th house again, of moving on and moving forward. I think you're kind of aware of it. Your routines kind of bring you some sense of security, and that's good. Some sense of balance, at least some self-awareness of where you are and kind of what you want to achieve. And that brings us to our 1st house again, Ace of Wands, passion, and that's what we're really seeking. Something that brings us that passion and brings us forward through life, ready for the day. So exploring that is a huge theme for this month. I hope you find what you're seeking, and I hope you take those steps, whatever those may be. Sorry, we got cut off there. I just wanted to say that that's the end of the reading, and I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next month.